Stern had approached us to use our business model as a thesis for one of their semesters, and I had worked with them sort of on a weekly basis talking about our business, and it was really interesting because we have a very sort of non-traditional business model in terms of how we've gone after business from a niche perspective. And as an entrepreneur, we didn't set out in, I think, a manner for which many entrepreneurs do. It wasn't this, okay, well, we're going to start a business and here it is and we know we're going to do this. It really just was a very simple extension of things we already were doing and we knew and we loved, and it felt good because...
And that we were very passionate about. I mean, I think that was definitely, you have to really be willing to roll up your sleeves and you become a jack of all trades, so to speak. And in many ways, that's a great education because even as your business grows and you start delineating responsibility to other things, you know how to do every single job in an organization.
But even in talking to MBA students, there's this sort of, well, when is there a time when you don't need to get an MBA because you have so much experience in your business that it doesn't really matter, it's not going to take you to the next level. And I think that the time for starting this business was then. Like, we didn't need to have, in my opinion, for what we were doing, we didn't necessarily feel we needed to have the MBA to get us to be here. It was just really sort of natural at that point. So experience for me, one of the things that I always talk about is having that level of experience on from so many different directions was really what I think helped us be, to get to where we are today.
And you have to be tenacious, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
first of all, we're partners in life. I mean, although I guess that's not totally untraditional.
No.
I mean, families and couples have done that together.
But I mean more specifically the model itself, like having written a business plan, which we had some dear friends who had started quite a successful business in Australia, and I used their business model, their business plan, to write a business plan, which took me probably about 6 months after I had left Prada, and then another year in development from start to finish when we launched. And the business itself is sort of a non-traditional aspect of how to go after business, and what we've done is we had set up sort of this idea of a freestanding store sort of being everything for us. It was the store, it was the showroom, it was our opportunity to create sales, it was our distribution center, everything to the brand. So we were sort of sitting in the store waiting on customers, packing boxes that were being shipped to London. It was everything all encompassing, and it sort of grew organically from there. We didn't take investors, we are self-funded, we have grown only organically. The business has been profitable since its first year, and it has been operational since its first day. So while we put in an initial capital investment to the company, we haven't invested any more of our own money since then. We've only allowed it to grow sort of naturally in its own direction.
Yeah, I think that's actually the thing that's the most untraditional, is that we haven't had a very slick marketing world, that everything has grown organically, and that we don't actually go after business in a traditional way. As a matter of fact, we have never solicited any of our accounts, so everything has sort of come to us, and I think that's unique.
It's left us very exclusive. And having had sort of these backgrounds where we were taking experience, we had, I had many beauty editors who knew who I was and what I was doing, and Andrew had design editors, and so we already had sort of a built-in platform with those. I had experience doing retail distribution, so there were a certain number of retailers who already knew me and would talk to us about our brand. So in all respects, we had sort of set the stage in sort of a non-traditional manner with basically no money. So, if that answers the question.